This edition of Inside Sooner Football with Bob Stoops. Highlights from the win over Baylor. Athletic Director Joe Castiglione joins us to talk about the $100 million Great Expectations campaign. We'll return to a meeting in the past against Texas A&M as the Sooners prepare to play the Aggies again. All this and more coming up right now on Inside Sooner Football with Bob Stoops. The nation's first and longest-running coaches show, chronicling 47 years, including 6 national championships and 36 conference championships. Now, the show enters a new millennium of Sooner greatness. Inside Sooner Football with Bob Stoops.
Hi, welcome to Inside Sooner Football with head coach Bob Stoops. I'm Bill Tiggins. Glad to have you with us. Coach, you're 8-0 and number 1 in the nation. You got to be really happy with your stand right now.
It's a good position to be in, Bill, no question. The season isn't over, though, but being 8-0, the last undefeated team in the country right now is good. In particular, being undefeated in the conference. But we've got 3 division games coming up, South Division games, first one with A&M here this week. But we're in good position. Our team's playing well, and really feel like we're on in a good rhythm and on a good roll.
Your players have got to be playing with a lot of confidence right now because as they've gone on each week almost, they've improved.
There's no question, and that's what really good teams do. As they go through the season, they get better and better each and every game. And they, particular parts of the game that they're not executing as well as you'd like, you practice on that, you work on it, and then hopefully you come out the next week and you have that shored up, and hopefully another problem doesn't pop up. But you want to get better as you go through the season. We've been doing that, and hopefully we'll be ready to play our best game of the year here this week. And
that will be against Texas A&M. We'll take a look at that in the moments ahead, but let's take a look back to Baylor. A very good performance in Waco, and I think you probably accomplished everything you wanted to accomplish, didn't you?
We really did. JT gets the game started. Our offense, ran a few plays, moved the ball, and then had to punt, and then we hold them 3 and out, and they punt to JT, and he breaks the ice with a great run. He's just an excellent runner. Great return specialist and a good defensive back without question. And he got things rolling the other day, and it made a difference.
I don't think a lot of people realize what that does to a team. If you're on the other end of it, it really demoralizes you. And, of course, if you do it for your team, it's unbelievable.
That's right. Look at a big play Andre Wolfo comes up with here. Takes it away from the receiver. Another big play for, it's going to result in points. And JT's really getting, it's a quiet atmosphere, very few people there, very quiet, not a very stimulating environment. So to come out and get the momentum right off the bat, get us charged up, it made a difference. And Josh Heupel was his usual incredible self, just playing one half of football, 21 of 29, 313 yards, responsible for 4 TDs, 3 throwing, 1 running, just a great player.
And then it was nice because you got an opportunity to get some other guys in. I know you go into a game not thinking that, but you were able to do that. He is so good at getting out of trouble, isn't he?
People are starting to realize the athletic ability he has. And he showed it in this game with making many people miss him, buying himself some extra time, and finding open receivers. Here again, he buys himself some extra time, delivers the ball where only Seth has a chance for it, picks up another first down, and he's just an excellent player. Here we're going to see JT with another big return. And our guys do a great job hustling for him, blocking, staying on their people to give him a chance. And JT did just an exceptional job running the ball.
And, of course, he was the Big 12 Special Teams Player of the Week again.
I think that's his 4th time this season. So hopefully he'll be the return specialist for all conference. He deserves it, as well as being an all-conference defensive back. Curtis Fagan had a big day. This is Ronaldo Works catching this ball, but Curtis Fagan had 3 catches for touchdowns and did a great job running with the ball after the catch, and there you see Ronaldo Works picking up good yardage.
Your defense was just held them to under 100 yards.
They were outstanding. There's an interception at the end of the half by Ante Jones, but to hold anyone under 100 yards and no points, regardless of who you're playing, is really playing well. It's good pressure by Rocky Kalmus, and that's 3rd and long, and JT makes a big hit, and they get no yards, so force another punt there.
I know we talk about his punt return special teams, but it's good to see him getting the guys in his arms, bringing them down like he did there.
That's right. It's a good tackle, and that's something JT's getting better at. Here's Jimmy Wilkerson making one of his, I think, 12 tackles. I think he had 6 of them behind the line of scrimmage, and that's just exceptional for a true freshman. He's got great ability, and it's going to be a great linebacker for us. There's he and Teddy Lehman, 2 true freshmen in there at linebacker, doing a nice job of covering. And here we're going to see, I believe, an interception by, well, JT almost had his 7th there and threw it right to him, and he dropped it.
The fact that you get some guys in, you talk about Teddy and Jimmy getting in at linebacker, they work all week, they worked all year, now they get some legitimate playing time.
And they did well with it, and it's fun to see your team coming along that way. Nate Hibble got in on offense and did a nice job, you know, at quarterback position, as well as our other guys did, but he had a few bad plays, but overall he still had some very nice throws and made some nice plays too.
Now here you are putting pressure on the young quarterback at Baylor. Rocky Kelmus had a nice game. You got, as we said, a lot of guys got playing time, and that helps in the long run.
It does. You're developing depth. You're getting players in game situations where they get a feel for the game and the game speed. And there's Jimmy Wilkerson, another tackle behind the line of scrimmage. So it was fun seeing those guys play, and it was pleasing as a coach to see them go in and execute well.
And a big win. You get out of there without many injuries. Let's talk about, Bob, some of the guys that you've got up for postseason national awards. Obviously, you're going to have a lot of all-conference guys, but national awards, that's nice to be in that position.
It is exciting. You look at Josh Heupel, front runner for the Heisman Trophy, is very special and deserves it, and he's earned it with this play. Other guys being mentioned, Rocky Kelmus will be a finalist for the Butkus Award. You look at J.T. Thatcher is going to be one of a finalist for the Thorpe Award, and they're also talking Scott Kempenick as one of is being mentioned for the Outland Trophy Award. So that's special, and that's what happens when your team plays well and you win football games, and those players have, you know, with their statistics and the way they're playing and the way the team is winning, gives you that opportunity to be one of those people.
Well, we were talking a minute ago, last year was difficult to get an all-conference selection from Oklahoma. Now you're going to dominate that, and you have the national award.
Well, let's hope so. Those players have worked hard. The team has worked hard. What's fun about our team is nobody cares about the individual awards. They really don't. They're all for one another. They help one another. Even players at the same position help the other guys succeed. And when you get team chemistry like that, it helps you win, and our players realize that's what's got us to this point right now. And if those individual awards come, great, and if they don't, we're fine too.
Well, the Sooners 8-0, ranked #1 in the country. We're going to take a break. When we come back, a meeting in the past against those Texas A&M Aggies. Welcome back to Inside Sooner Football. This week, the Sooners take on the Texas A&M Aggies, and that's the feature of this week's meeting in the past.
This meeting in the past occurred on October 23, 1999, Texas A&M at Oklahoma. The Aggies could not figure the Sooners out, including this fake field goal attempt, which Patrick Fletcher turned into a Sooner first down and eventually a touchdown. The Sooners ended the game with 552 yards of offense. Josh Heupel threw for 387 yards. Seth Luttrell turned this fake punt into another first down and a huge Sooner gain, which resulted in another OU touchdown. In fact, OU scored on its first 6 possessions. On defense, OU stopped A&M in its tracks, allowing only 230 yards in total offense. On the ground, the Aggies only made 64 yards. Special teams was huge for Oklahoma, including this blocked field goal attempt. Oklahoma allowed the Aggies to cross the goal line only one time. It would be the 3rd worst loss in Texas A&M's 105-year football history. OU beat the 13th ranked Aggies 51-6 in this meeting in the past.
51-6. I assume that you'd take that in a heartbeat, wouldn't you, this year?
Sure I would, or 7-6, as long as we're on the upside of it. But that was a good game, well-played game by our players, and excited about that as a homecoming game. So it was a good way to play.
Let's talk about A&M a little bit. They're a much different team on the offensive side of the ball. They've got a 25-year-old quarterback, Mark Ferris, a guy who can spread it out, and they are a much more spread offensive team this year.
They are to a point. I think people are making, you watch their plays from a year ago, and we got ahead, so they were throwing the ball a lot. You see a lot of the same plays a year ago as you do this year. Their run game just slightly different, but all they are is a little bit more balanced. They were a little more run than pass a year ago, and this year they're closer to 50-50. And so though they're throwing it more, I wouldn't call them a spread offense, or that's not their bread and butter. They still like to run the football, and they still throw it, a good part of the time. But they're just a little more balanced than they were a year ago.
Defensively, is it the same old wrecking crew that we've talked about the last few years?
Sure. Their defense is the same as a lot of the same schemes as they had a year ago. And the way they attack you, they try and mix up their man and their zone and come after you in different ways and try and put pressure on you, which they always have done, and they still do it this year.
College Station's always an interesting place to play. Kyle Field, one of the great places to watch college football. Very loud place. Does that concern you at all going into that?
Well, only to a point. We're prepared for that really every time we go on the road. We work with crowd noise through the week. Our offense, we do a lot of no huddle and silent counts, and a lot of our plays are all-purpose plays where we shouldn't have to check an audible. So for the most part, we're ready for it, and our players have been in some difficult situations already this year, and they've handled those situations and the crowd coming down on them, and have been able to block it out and just focus on football and what's out on the field. And so we should be okay.
Certainly makes you, I would think, much more confident when you've got a guy like Josh Heupel back there who's already proven that he can handle those situations.
Absolutely. Makes a big difference. And, I haven't just watched Josh, through last year and this year, a good number of football games, and he never loses his poise. Yeah. He's always ready to go the next snap, the next series, and with him, as your leader, you've got an excellent chance.
Should be a great matchup. Again, Oklahoma and Texas A&M coming up on Saturday. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Athletic Director Joe Castiglione on the state of the Sooners.
Welcome back to Inside Sooner Football with Bob Stoops, and with me right now is Athletic Director Joe Castiglione. Joe, thanks for joining us.
Always great to be on this show. I don't know why you don't ask me more often. I get my annual once a year.
There you go.
Whether you need it or not.
There you go. What an exciting time in Oklahoma athletics, especially right now, football.
Well, you start to run out of superlatives for what Coach Stoops, his staff, and our players have done to literally lift the spirits along with the success level of this program throughout the state of Oklahoma. It's just absolutely remarkable, yet not surprising. When you're around Coach, his assistants, and the players, you just see such a sense of confidence and optimism, and really almost a humbleness, knowing that they can get better each and every week. I mean, it's just absolutely the right mindset.
And our athletic program is getting better each and every week and each and every year. I would like for you to show us some of the things that are being done and are going to be done through the Great Expectations program. So let's take a look.
Happy to do it.
Okay. Of course, Lloyd Noble Center is already underway.
That has really been the most major project to get underway since the completion of the Switzer Center. See the construction, and now we're looking at the actual new piece, the addition to the Lloyd Noble Center. All of what people see will relate to team facilities.
And now we move on.
This is the inside view of our new practice center, which will be located just west of the Mosier indoor facility.
Which would be great with the weather we've had this week.
Yeah, it couldn't have been better, and we need it.
Yes.
We're looking now at the new softball clubhouse, which will serve as locker rooms, meeting rooms, and other facilities for our nationally ranked and national champion softball team. We've talked about the expansion of our locker room, the new tennis facility, the soccer stadium, and renovation of our John Jacobs track, all of which are being planned as we speak. The crown jewel of our capital campaign is the renovation, restoration, and expansion of Oklahoma Memorial Stadium, and we're just so excited about this. What people see now is the addition on the east side of the stadium. It's 3 levels, which include the club seats, the suites, and additional seating. We're panning, I guess you could say, from the northeast corner across to the northwest corner. In the north end zone, people realize that we have an academic center and administrative offices, and they are also included in this renovation. And of course, the academic center being the one place that serves every one of our student athletes. This is the midpoint of the north end, looking over the new reflecting pool, which is now in operation, to the entrance to our academic center and athletic administrative offices. It's, as the camera zeroes in on the new scoreboard piece high atop the north end zone.
You know, when you look at the east side, for instance, I mean, that's just incredible. It doesn't even look like the old stadium.
Well, in a way, you're right. But what we've tried to do is reflect the architectural style of this campus, make our new addition fit so that things look timeless. You know, it's not just about applying contemporary amenities, but it's trying to create a fit into a beautiful college campus that we have here at the University of Oklahoma. Still, being able to increase the seating capacity 5,000 or 6,000, give all the state-of-the-art amenities, create more space for our fans to move around the stadium, and really make the showplace that we believe college football should have here in the state of Oklahoma, especially right here at our university.
Joe, you know, the president has a State of the Union address, and we have about a minute left. And what is your condensed State of the Athletic Department address?
Good and getting better. That's what we're geared to do. We're real happy that people are recognizing our great student athletes, our successful coaches, and the performance of our teams on the fields, the courts, the tracks. Last year we finished in the top 25 of the Sears Directors Cup rankings. Our student athletes are setting records in academic progress. More than half of our student athletes finished the spring semester with a 3.0 grade point average or better. And each and every sport is moving forward, moving up, and becoming, I guess you could say, you know, the teams to try to beat around the country. And the University of Oklahoma has always been a place that aspired to excellence, and our rich tradition says that we've gotten to the top before, and now everything we're trying to do is get back to the top again and stay there.
Well, Joe, we appreciate you taking time out to join us on Inside Sooner Football.
Anytime you get a chance to talk about the quality of our student athletes and our coaches, it's really just a great opportunity to do so.
Well, thank you. And we'll be back with Bob and Bill right after this break.
Happy, Carl here. Set up a star line so our customers can call in and tell us what they want.
Coach, the Sooners getting ready to take on the Aggies. You're going to have television again. You're going to have ESPN Game Day again. Just a big-time atmosphere.
That's what you want, you know. That's special. That gets the players excited. It's a great environment to be right in the middle of, competing in. And Texas A&M's a good football team. Everyone realizes that. Big crowd, great atmosphere. You know, split national TV. So our players will be excited. There's no question, and our players understand what's on the line. You know, we've got a chance to be in the driver's seat here in the Big 12 South with this win, and they're excited about fighting for it.
And they've done a great job in these big games of remembering really what's at stake.
That's right. Now, our players understand, and there's no way Texas A&M will be more motivated than we will. Our players want it. They're hungry for it. And, you know, we're excited to go out and fight for it, compete for it, and get in that atmosphere and see what we can do.
Well, Coach, best of luck on Saturday against the Aggies. For Coach Bob Stoops, I'm Bill Tegans. See you next week on Inside Sooner Football.
Inside Sooner Football with Bob Stoops. Brought to you by Oklahoma Farm Bureau Insurance. All-around coverage, all around Oklahoma. OG&E, power at the speed of life. Your Oklahoma Ford dealers, the best in Oklahoma. Oklahoma Tank Lines, seamless delivery every time. National American Insurance Company, Oklahomans working hard for Oklahomans. And by Carl's Jr., home of the char-broiled burger with 67 locations throughout Oklahoma. Carl's Jr. Promotional considerations by Audio Midwest, Stillwater, and Midwest City. Furnishings provided by Mr. Robert Fine Furniture in Norman. has been a Sooner Vision presentation for the Sooner Sports Network in cooperation with Sooner Sports Properties.